Good morning. Loudoun County staff are recommending a cap on how much government spending grows each year and pouring more cash into county construction projects as opposed to borrowing or possibly into affordable housing. For Thursday, September 11th, it's your Loudoun Now Morning Minute. The Community Foundation for Loudoun and Northern Fauquier Counties invites you to their 2025 Roots and Legacies Awards Dinner and Gala on Friday, November 21st at Gordon Springs in Purcellville. They congratulate this year's Philanthropist of the Year, Jim and Rebecca McDermott, Changemaker of the Year, Father Daniel Velez Rivera, and Morven Park, winner of the Nonprofit Achievement Award. Roots and Legacies will be a night to remember, and event proceeds support the Community Foundation's mission to grow community giving. Tickets and sponsorships are now available at communityfoundationlf.org. Thanks for being with us. I'm Rence Green. On Tuesday, the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors Finance Committee heard about a proposal from county staff that would put a cap on the county government's increase in spending from one year to the next, and which would also direct more cash into the county's construction projects or possibly its affordable housing. This is part of an ongoing push to limit the county government's reliance on tax revenue from data centers. Earlier this year, county staff suggested reducing the tax rate on data centers over concerns about that sector's outsized impact on the county budget. Supervisors shot that idea down pretty quickly, though, saying basically, if Loudouners are going to feel the impacts from the growth of the data center industry, then they should at least see some tax savings out of it. Under this new proposal, staff proposed a policy to limit how much the county budget grows each year, and that would target keeping real estate taxes at least 51.5% of tax revenues. Loudoun's budget grew by 13% this fiscal year and 11% last year. As a starting point, the county staff proposed limiting that to a 9% increase in county funding and an 8% increase in funding for the school district next year. So, if their tax revenue started exceeding that budget, that extra revenue could be allocated to the county's capital improvements program, which would mean less borrowing to cover the costs of things like construction projects. Alternatively, they said it could go into the county's Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Office of Management and Budget Director Megan Burke said there's a concern that Loudoun's data center industry could slow its growth as it gets near full build-out. Here she is at that meeting.
You've seen an incredible growth in that revenue line item because every year there's more data centers that are built out and purchase computer equipment that is then taxed. In the early or late 2020s, early 2030s, we anticipate that the majority of square footage of data centers will be fully constructed and outfitted. And so you'll see a pretty significant plateau.
Supervisors on the committee were receptive to the idea, but they said they're not ready to dismiss the idea of lower tax rates on residents, especially the car tax. Here's Supervisor Matt Letourneau.
The message that we've been sending for the last 6 months is we have a lot of revenue coming in from data centers. It's difficult for me to not find a way to pass at least some of that savings onto our residents who feel like they're living with some of the detrimental impacts and need to see sort of that cushion. And I think we've talked ad nauseum about the various uncertainties in the fiscal market, the pressure from tariffs, all these different things that may be impacting residents. So I would still want to keep some level of reduction on personal property tax on the table, as well as residential property tax rate.
And here is County Chair Phyllis Randall.
It is my job as a supervisor and as chair to not just do things that feel good right now for this board to be able to do, lowering the real property tax because we can right now. And then the board, 2 boards from now, have to raise our real property tax because we've lowered it so much. We are a contiguous body, and we are supposed to be looking down the line to what a next board and the next board and the next board is supposed to do.
Go to loudounnow.com/Morning Minute to check out the whole story. In other news, and following up on the story earlier this week about concerns from Leesburg staff and police that road murals with 3D effects painted at each end of Lassiter Way could be dangerous, the Leesburg Town Council has approved those murals by 1 vote. The council voted 4-3 to approve those murals after a public hearing Tuesday. These murals are part of the Lassiter Way Beautification Project, a project by Leesburg Movement that got a $15,000 grant from the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development. The town's Commission on Public Art selected the murals from some artist submissions, but town staff raised a concern that the 3D effect could confuse drivers who might think there's actually something in the road. On the other hand, Leesburg Movement Executive Director Aaron Weston pointed to a study that found road murals actually improve safety. The council also voted to increase the square footage of the mural on the Loudoun Street side of the alley. Residents in the Stoneleigh neighborhood in Round Hill have been warned to boil their water as crews work to repair a broken water line. The break on Wednesday morning was the second one this month. People in that neighborhood are advised to boil tap water for at least 1 minute before using it for drinking, cooking, washing food, making ice, or brushing their teeth. And the Purcellville Town Council is back from their summer recess, and the tension in those council chambers has not relaxed. Since the current council took office in January, public meetings have gotten more and more chaotic, with residents in the audience often shouting, jeering, and laughing at the council, and occasionally some council members shouting back. And at their first meeting back from recess, one person got escorted out of the meeting by the police. Residents showed up to criticize the town council again, and the town council majority passed new policies that, among other things, require residents to sign up in advance to speak during town council meetings' public comment sections. That passed 4-3. You can see the video of that incident, by the way, in the story on our website, so get the full story on this and all these stories over at loudounnow.com. On today's Get Out Loudoun calendar, Ray Hume and Steve Fry will play Spanky's Shenanigans today starting at 6 p.m. Check out the rest of the events calendar at getoutloudoun.com. And if you like the Morning Minute, get Town Council approval to paint a Morning Minute mural to tell all your friends, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and it'll be waiting for you there every morning. Okay, have a great day.